everybody, it's Raikou here and welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to be teaching you how to build a team in about 10 minutes. Before we get into this, make sure to like, subscribe, join my Discord, link in the description, and I'm sounding very boring right now, so anyway, let's get into the video. So, don't do that. First thing I need to think about is what Pokemon I'm going to be building around. Oh, and by the way, I'll be using the team from this video in a Showdown Live or something later. Not today, maybe tomorrow. So the first thing, just look for a Pokemon you want to build a team around. And the Pokemon I want to build a team around is a Pokemon that I really like from the new generation, and I feel like it's overrated, but at the same time, it's not in any way overrated. So, the Pokemon I want to use is Dragapult, of course, and I know what set I wanted to use. I want to use my amazing Specs Dragapult set, Infiltrator, Shadow Ball, Fire Blast, Draco Meteor, and U-Turn. I'm sorry. But anyway, the Pokemon that I just made was basically, this was predetermined. So, yeah. I just really like using Dragapult, and I've built so many teams with it, and I think I'm overrating it, but at the same time, like, it's good, but it's not amazing. You can't even one-shot a, I don't know, Inteleon with Specs Shadow Ball, and if it is, I got a really bad roll the other day, because it did, like, 80%. And Inteleon's frail. See Inteleon. Inteleon has 70 HP and 65 special defense, and it took a Shadow Ball, Specs Dragapult. So, because of that, I want to run a modest Dragapult. But because I'm sacrificing speed, I need a way to outspeed my opponents. And that way to outspeed my opponents is going to be sticky webs. So I'm going to find a sticky web user and put it on my team. There's a bunch of nice sticky web users, but what I think I want to do is run something bulky but fast. Actually, no, I don't want to run something super bulky or fast. I want to run a Pokemon that's just straight up fast, like Ribombee. Ribombee has decent abilities, decent move pool, but it gets Sticky Web, which is what I'm looking for. So Focus Sash, because we don't want to die to a priority move or someone that's faster than us before getting our Sticky Webs up. So I'm going to put Sticky Webs, of course. I'm going to put Moonblast, because you gotta love those stabs. I'm going to put U-Turn, just so I can pivot out a little better and break sashes and things like that. And does it get Sleep Powder? No, so Stun Spore. Yeah, Stun Spore. And it's going to be fast, bulky support. Yeah, that set works, I guess. And there we have it. We got 2 Pokemon done. Now that we have our sort of like little core, we gotta build around this with Pokemon that would do well in situations where you get those sticky webs up, but also do like decently without them. And I think I'm gonna put a Choice Band Galarian Darmanitan on the team. We don't need like the Scarf. We don't need Scarf because we are gonna be faster because of Sticky Web. And with Choice Band plus Guerrilla Tactics, it's essentially we're holding 2 Choice Bands and our attack's going to be so high that will annihilate everything. And on a Sticky Web team, this thing is going to do super well. Now I need to pick its coverage. Of course, I'm going to run U-turn because we need those pivot moves. So far, everything has U-turn on the team. I just realized that. Anyway, well, I like pivots. I like being able to dance around my opponent. We need some defensive pivots, though, so that'll be in our next Pokemon. Well, when we're finished the team, we'll decide the coverage under Darmanitan. So, yeah. We need some defensive pivots that can still do offense. Let's see. There's not much, honestly, I think. Like, there's not many defensive Pokemon. Oops, not Shuckle. There's not many defensive Pokemon that do well in the metagame. This metagame is extremely offensive. So, it's not good to be a defensive Pokemon right now. You don't want to be. So, I think this team can use a Rotom. Rotom Heater, Rotom Wash. I'll go with Rotom Wash and maybe put Flare Blitz on the Darmanitan. So we can have fire coverage still. Then we can have Rotom Wash with... what item? Well, it's defensive, so we need a Leftovers. I'm going to run a especially defensive one. Oh, and this guide is assuming you already know how to make a team. I mean, this guide's assuming you already know about movesets and EV spreads. I'm just talking about type synergy and stuff. So the way the way Rotom, not Darmanitan, works with this team is it allows you to switch in, or allows you to U-turn out into Rotom and take a powerful hit, and then do something to that, and then force them out because you're just gonna eat all their damage and cancel. What the heck? Okay, sorry. Anyway, we're going to give this Pokemon Hydro Pump. I said we needed water coverage, and water coverage is good against Pokemon like Cinderace. And Cinderace is super fast and offensive. And Rotom prevents you from being 6-0'd by Cinderace, from Banded Cinderace. Although, let's check the calcs. Where are the calcs? Pokemon damage calcs. And let's check the Rotom Cinderace calcs. And see how much. Let's see. Rotom Wash. And if you want to use calcs in your team building, by all means do that. I'm gonna go 252 HP. Now I'm gonna find Cinderace, and I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go 252 attack. It would probably, and maybe Adamant. Not Absorb Bulb. We need a Choice Band. And Choice Band Cinderace is so strong. So if this thing can actually switch into a Pyro Ball, it's perfect for a team. Pyro Ball. Do we switch into Pyro Ball? Okay, so Pyro Ball can mostly 2-hit KO max HP Rotoms, but with Leftovers and maybe a bit of defense. Well, let's see. If we are bold, What about with like 100? What about with like max defense? It does basically 40%, so yeah, I'm gonna run max defense. So we can have something that prevents us from being 6-0'd by Choice Band and Adamant Cinderace. I mean, because of webs, we don't get 6-0'd by it. But just to be on the safe side, and then maybe Electro Web, since we want to slow our opponents down. So, like, this is more of an unconventional set, but at the same time, it's kind of interesting, and I think it could work. So looking at our team right now, there isn't a single Pokemon that can 6-0 us necessarily, or can kill all these, like, destroy them, except Aegislash. Well, not counting Rotom, but Rotom's not necessarily an amazing Aegislash check. We need something that can deal with Aegislash, maybe offensively, not necessarily defensively. And looking at the Pokemon, maybe some sort of dark type. Maybe Grimmsnarl, but we're weak to Steel there. No. Bisharp, but we're we're weak to fighting. Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz might work. Yeah, Mandibuzz is gonna work. We're gonna run physically defensive Mandibuzz. Actually, no, specially defensive Mandibuzz. We're gonna run a leftovers. These are like defensive pivots. And we're gonna go maybe Foul Play so we can KO Aegislash without having to invest in attack or special attack. We're gonna have Roost so we can deal with like damage and just heal up damage. It's great for a wall to have a reliable recovery move. U-turn so we can pivot around. And maybe Toxic so we can wear down opposing Pokemon. And I'm going to run a specially defensive EV spread so we can tank special hits well. But then we can also scare out Aegislash because we're a dark type. And the ability is not going to be Overcoat. Wait. Is it worth it using big pecs? No. Overcoat's better in case we're facing sand. Now, the last Pokemon, I always ask myself, should I put a Scarf Ditto or should I think about it? A lot of the time I'll say I'll think about it. Sometimes I put a Scarf Ditto if I just can't think of anything. But no. I thought of a great combo, which was a fighting type with Dragapult, because the only things that can deal with its spammable Shadow Ball are dark and normal types, which are weak to fighting. So because we're building a team around Dragapult, I want to run some sort of fighting type. So we can look at the fighting types. And there's 2 in OU, Conkeldurr and Hawlucha, but neither's great. I want something fast, never mind, there's no fast fighting types. I want something super strong, and it's Conkeldurr. I don't want Conkeldurr. And I also want something that's really bulky and can take hits super well. So in this case, I think I might run a Choice Scarf Gallade, because it also has Psychic Stab, which is good. Physical Psychic types are hard to come by, and it's also not weak to Dark, so we're not too weak to opposing Dark types, like opposing Mandibuzz, because Mandibuzz is good apparently. And we can also boost our attack off of our Justified if we are hit with a Dark type move. So I'm going to run Scarf, and since we're not the fastest, even with a sticky web, we might not be outspeeding things like Jolly or Timid Dragapult or Barraskewda. Definitely not Barraskewda under Rain, even with a sticky web. So I need to look at what to give this thing. It's got some great physical coverage, and I'm thinking just some sort of all-out attacking set, no utility at all. I mean, most Choice Scarfs are all-out attacking, but I've seen some interesting sets. And after this, I'm going to finish the Darmanitan set. So, looking at our team, we might need, well, I mean, Ice Punch and Thunder Punch is like perfect coverage. And since it doesn't, oh no, not Thunderbolt. Since it doesn't get U-Turn, then we can't just have like a full team of U-Turn and Volt Switchers. Although that does allow us to have so much momentum, having like almost all pivots. Now we need to pick the last move on our Darmanitan, and this is a strategy often used in case you're missing coverage on your team. And I believe I'm missing rock coverage. Yeah, I'm missing rock coverage. So I'm going to run Stone Edge. And there you go. But I don't think this is 10 minutes, but yeah, no, it's like 20 minutes. Alright, I really hope you enjoyed. And if you learned something from this video, then you might be able to build better teams. But just as a team recap, we built this Dragapult as our starting point, and because we are running a modest one, we decided to run a sticky web user in Ribombee. And then another Pokemon that can take advantage of the sticky webs is Darmanitan, which is super powerful. At this point, I was thinking that Cinderace would probably 6-0 us, so I decided to run Rotom. Then I thought Aegislash would be a problem, so I decided to run Mandibuzz. And then finally, I thought that the only things that could resist or be immune to Dragapult's Shadow Ball, which is very spammable, the only things are Dark and Normal types, which are both weak to Gallade's Fighting Stab, which allows us to round out the team very nicely. This is quite the offensive team, but at the same time, it could be considered balanced just because of its sheer defensiveness with the two with the Mandibuzz and Rotom. Although those two could easily be broken, they're not the best walls. And one thing I would recommend is using a Rapid Spinner or a Defogger, but I'm choosing not to on this team. So that might be a problem because of all the U-turning. Let's see, does Mandibuzz get Defog? We don't have a hazard remover, so... And let's just make sure this team's valid. And yes, it is valid, so we have our beautiful team. And I really hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye!